The moment my best friend's sister whispered, "You're better than my ex," my hands froze. I had only agreed to help her because she was hurting, exhausted, and struggling to relax after a terrible week. I never imagined that a simple massage would uncover emotions neither of us was prepared to face. My best friend Daniel and I had known each other since college. We had survived exams, broken relationships, failed job interviews, and countless late-night conversations. His younger sister, Emily, had always been part of our lives, but I had never looked at her as anything more than Daniel's little sister. She was kind, independent, and quietly strong, but recently that strength had started to disappear. Her relationship had ended badly, and even though she rarely talked about it, everyone could see how deeply it had affected her. One rainy Friday evening, I stopped by Daniel's house to return some documents. Daniel was out, but Emily was home. She looked exhausted, sitting on the living room sofa with one hand pressed against her shoulder. She explained that she had been working long hours and that the tension in her neck and shoulders had become almost unbearable. I remembered learning basic massage techniques from my father years ago, mostly to help him after long days at work, so I offered to help. There was nothing romantic in my mind. I simply wanted to ease her pain. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and being there for someone when they need it most, please like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to Kindness Space. Sometimes one small act of kindness can change the direction of someone's entire life. Emily sat comfortably on the sofa while I carefully worked on the tense muscles around her shoulders. The room was quiet except for the rain tapping against the windows. At first, she barely spoke. Gradually, her breathing slowed, and the tension in her face began to disappear. Then she quietly told me that she had forgotten what it felt like to relax without worrying about what someone else wanted from her. I didn't ask questions. I simply continued helping her, giving her the silence she seemed to need. After a few moments, she whispered that her ex had never cared when she was overwhelmed. He would tell her that she was too sensitive and that her problems were inconvenient. She said she had spent months believing something was wrong with her because she had needed comfort. Then came the words that changed everything. With tears gathering in her eyes, Emily whispered, "You're better than my ex." I immediately stopped and reminded her that she didn't have to compare me with anyone. What mattered was that she deserved to be treated with patience and respect. She looked at me for several seconds and admitted that nobody had said that to her before. Not her ex. Not even some of the people she considered close friends. That night changed the way I saw Emily, not because of what she had whispered, but because I finally understood how much pain she had been hiding behind her smile. Over the following weeks, we became closer. We talked more, but there was always a boundary between us because Daniel was my best friend, and I valued that friendship too much to risk hurting him. Emily started rebuilding her confidence. She returned to hobbies she had abandoned, began spending time with friends again, and eventually smiled without forcing it. But I began struggling with my own feelings. I realized that what I felt for Emily wasn't simply concern anymore. I cared about her dreams, her fears, her ridiculous jokes, and even the quiet moments when neither of us needed to say anything. Yet I was terrified of losing Daniel. One evening, Emily finally confronted me about the distance I had been creating. She told me she wasn't looking for someone to replace her ex. She wanted someone who saw her as a person rather than a problem to solve. She said that my kindness had reminded her that she wasn't broken. I finally told her the truth. I had been afraid that caring about her would cost me my best friend. A few days later, Daniel found out about our feelings. I expected anger. Instead, he surprised me. He admitted that he had noticed how much happier his sister had become. His only request was that I never treat her carelessly. Months passed, and Emily continued healing. Our relationship grew slowly,